Hello, I'm Debbie Anterio with Realty One Group.
And I'm John Stevens with Fleur De Lis Law and Title Company.
And we're here today for a little fact-finding Friday. I was coming across a property and I saw that the owner was in a trust. And I wasn't exactly sure what that even meant for the real estate transaction. So I invited John here to explain to us what a trust is and why it may or may not be beneficial for a real estate transaction.
Okay, so there are a bunch of different types of trusts. And when I say a bunch, there are too many to start rattling off. But the gist of what a trust is, it is a juridical entity, which means it is a entity recognized by law that is most often used for the holding of assets and for certain administration of those assets based on what the settler's intent is. And the settler is the person who sets up the trust. So you mentioned coming across a transaction where property was held in trust. It is often the case where individuals will put their properties into trust, so it'll be titled in the trust.
Okay.
And the reason why, again, there being so many different types of trusts and a lot of different dynamics within an individual's estate, but generally speaking, they can serve as creditor protective holdings, right? So they are difficult to access by creditors. They can also just protect assets, not necessarily from creditors, but just from any other third parties, and in some instances can even kind of protect assets from the beneficiaries themselves, in the sense that it can help protect the longevity of that asset. And it can also be used to help in some instances avoiding probate and succession.
Okay, so people would put their property in trust to help the process when something should happen to them.
It could certainly transmit a little more easily in some instances whenever the property is being held in trust as opposed to being held individually. And in Louisiana, on that note, when a piece of property is transferred into trust, we do have to record certain documentation with the clerk in addition to the deed that transfers that property into trust. So it's definitely something worthwhile to look into and speak with someone who handles those types of things regularly.
Is there anything, if I'm the buyer of a property that's in a trust, is there anything special that buyer needs to do, or anything that needs to be taken care of that they need to be made aware of?
Not necessarily on the buyers, and it should move forward as a standard transaction. If you're the seller in that case, or you'd be the trustee representing the trust, to transfer the property, and like I said, there are some little maybe behind the scenes things that we'll look at just to make sure everything's in order to get that transaction done.
Good. Well, nothing to be scared of then, and could be a possible benefit if you're a seller or a property owner.
Sure.
So anyway, thanks for joining us today, Fact Finding Friday, and if you'd like to reach out to John to see if a trust might benefit you, how can you be reached?
Absolutely, yeah. John, JOHN @FDLtitle.com.
Have a great day.